If you were to ask me, what is the most detrimental Disney Plus series dealing with the Star Wars universe? What was the most detrimental? What was the most story-breaking, character-breaking, canon-breaking? I would say Obi-Wan, the show, the Disney Plus TV show. 6 episodes of absolute garbage that did nothing but hurt the character, the story, lines from previous movies, and everything. But here we go. In this article from Screen Rant, let's see how they justify this nonsense. Obi-Wan Kenobi director discusses young Leia, and the fear of breaking canon. If you ask me, they had absolutely no fear because they broke canon and once after another, one time after another, after another. Absolutely ridiculous. I don't care. Everyone knows what those particular lines meant from the movie. Between the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy, everyone understood and accepted the heavy implications of those lines. But then, once this movie came out, everybody wanted to see Darth Vader, another lightsaber fight between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader, so the member berries came out, the love, ooh, look, shiny, Jedi, Darth Vader, Obi-Wan, again and again. And people tried to justify, to make excuses, essentially gaslighting any sort of criticism against these scenes. They broke the canon. They hurt the story. However, Screen Rant. Director Deborah Chow detailed the process of bringing young Princess Leia into the story, with canon concerns a priority. That is a lie. Because if you were concerned about the canon, about the lore, you would not have had Princess Leia in the show at all. Major lines, implications. God damn it, I'm gonna... Okay. Integrating Princess Leia. Summary. We're not going to go... Well, summary. Integrating for young Princess Leia into Obi-Wan Kenobi show was a creative risk that should not have happened, but it was justified. No, it wasn't. That's a lie. You can justify it to yourself all as much as you want to, but a vast amount of fans will disagree with you. And they turned it off. They walked away. Losing fans one after another with absolute disrespect for any of the stories that came before it. Am I being hyperbolic? Maybe a little, but that's how I feel. Lucasfilm was concerned, no you weren't, about breaking canon by including Leia. Then why did you include her? Keep going. But there was nothing in Star Wars that indicated they haven't previously met, except for the line where she doesn't even reference him. Talks about how you fought with my father during the war, not you rescued me from the bounty hunters. You did this for me before. No, you fought with my father during the Clone Wars. That was the line. There's implication behind that. Stop ignoring it. Recontextualizes their relationship without violating official lore. If they had such a strong connection, why was she so not upset whenever Obi-Wan was killed? When he sacrificed himself to manipulate Luke. That's another story. Having Obi-Wan face his demons and encounter Darth Vader when he shouldn't have. Required Leia's abduction as a catalyst. This is... My goodness, you are reaching with this article. Let's see what Deborah Chow has to say. In an interview with the Hollywood Reporter, Chow shared that Leia's involvement in Obi-Wan Kenobi predated the director's time on the show. So we're going to blame somebody else. Before I came onto the project, it was something that they had already developed. There was a lot of discussion about it, and we didn't know how the fan base would react. Oh, I got ideas. And if they hadn't, and if they'd say that we were breaking canon, because you were. It's tricky because on some level, everything could be perceived as breaking canon, because it was. But you have to take some swings. You could have just gone to other sources. I believe there was a book written about Obi-Wan. You could have pulled some of the stories from there, shown him struggling on the planet. You could have included people hunting him down. And in order to protect Luke, he had to go away. Maybe not necessarily leave the planet, but they were hunting Obi-Wan because he's a Jedi. They were tracking him down, and he had to take measures, hide his existence. There was no reason whatsoever to include Princess Leia in the season other than nostalgia bait member berries. That's all it was. There was also nothing that said they hadn't met before. Oh, I love this excuse. There was nothing specific that said this didn't happen. No. Sure. But there are, again, like I said, at the risk of repeating myself so many times, heavy implications of these activities in the original trilogy. Heavy, like 10-ton heavy implications. So we did obviously take some license. Boy, did you ever. But we tried to hook it back into A New Hope to at least connect the two. Receptive from... I'm sorry. Reception from the Star Wars fan base can be a slippery slope. All you have to do is give a good story and respect it. There's a lot of TV shows out there related to the Star Wars universe, whether it is Rebels or the Clone Wars or whatnot, that are absolutely beloved by a majority of the Star Wars fan base. And there are some that are heavily criticized. You cannot disregard one over the other, except understand the criticism, see where it's coming from, and learn from it. Improve from it. Understand what the likes and they don't like. Don't just pay attention to a few nonsensical people on social media that go, likes and retweets do not convert to money. There. Lucasfilm fears the breaking canon indicate responsible Lucasfilm's fears of breaking canon indicate responsible care for previous material, which they have absolutely no care for previous material, though moving the story forward required pushing the boundaries. Did young Leia break Star Wars canon? Short answer, yes. There's an argument to be made that young Leia's involvement in Obi-Wan Kenobi breaks canon because it does, given their prior lack of history. Complete and total non-existence of history. However, nothing in Star Wars indicates that they hadn't previously met. Now, the article is repeating itself. Obi-Wan is well aware of who Princess Leia is in A New Hope, having served her father Bail Organa, yet knew her as a bebe, as a little babashus. That's it. During the Clone Wars. While their adventure in Obi-Wan Kenobi it reinvents that relationship. It makes it up. It doesn't violate official lore. Yes, it does. The biggest change in Leia's personal connection to Kenobi, which adds more weight to her seeking out his help. No, she heard stories about him from her father, Bail Organa, and knew that he was someone that could help her. Heard stories about him. She knew Bail fought with Obi-Wan, and it was her only hope. Story about Obi-Wan spent exclusively on Tatooine would have been boring. That's your opinion. This has a massively bestseller book of Obi-Wan spending a considerable amount of time fighting his demons, his failures, his feelings towards young Padawan. Maybe, just maybe, you could have done some flashbacks and had a whole lot more of Hayden Christensen in it. Way more live-action flashbacks when they're training during the Clone Wars. Their conflicts together. You could have had all sorts of different stories that would have, in my opinion, landed a lot better than inserting Princess Leia and Darth Vader into a series that it did not need to be in. For Obi-Wan to truly face his demons, another encounter was necessary. Another encounter with Darth Vader was necessary. Disagree. And it had to be elsewhere, as Vader's presence on Tatooine would be canon breaker. Oh, now the article understands what canon breaking is. The only catalyst strong enough to pull Obi-Wan away from watching after Luke is Leia. Obi-Wan Kenobi justified the creative leap that could have bothered fans. What? The whole thing bothered fans. This is nonsense. Attempting to justify such a nonsensical, unnecessary story, the reaches that these articles are going to is mind-boggling at best. I don't know. I didn't watch it, but I watched enough reviews on it, watched enough screens, people talking about it from different platforms, different opinions on it, to realize like this is probably not something I would want to watch. Once I heard that there was going to be at least one more fight, turns out to be two fights with Darth Vader, I checked out. I knew I wasn't interested because everything that was in the original trilogy, the lines, the dialogue, the actions, these things mean something to the fans. The original trilogy means something to the fans. Everything about it from beginning to end. Even the one after another visual edits that George Lucas has done, they still mean something. And what this show did is just kind of shat all over it. But let me know what you think in the comments. Leave a like, leave a dislike. What do you think? Do you think this article or anything can justify a young Princess Leia and yet more fights with Darth Vader before A New Hope? Can that be justified at all? Let me know what you think in the comments. I appreciate you making it this far. Have a good one.